You guys have made me smile today, so thank you. This is cool. It's Trivium time. So if you're new here, I'm not the biggest Trivium fan in the world. However, I've been giving you guys the opportunity to get me into this band. Over the last few months, you guys have been absolutely incredible requesting songs for me to react to, and this has turned out to be a great introduction to a band that you guys have a lot of love for. So far I've reacted to quite a few songs from different albums. However, there's one album that I keep coming back to, and that is the album Shogun. So far, this is the album that's clicked for me most, and I won't lie, it's been a little bit of a nightmare because in my downtime, if I've wanted to listen to some Trivium, I've been constantly thinking to myself, no, you need to skip past all these songs because these are songs that people have requested for you to react to. So I've had to hold off a load of songs and save them for these reaction videos. So there's one song that I've been absolutely dying to get to, and it's a song that you guys have requested quite a bit actually, and that is Torn Between Scylla and Charybdis, if I am pronouncing that correctly. So again with these guys, their strange sort of esoteric, unusual names are starting to rope me in a little bit more now. And I just want to take a quick look before we delve into the song. What on earth Scylla and Charybdis actually is. So the overview here says in Greek mythology, Scylla and Charybdis were monstrous figures inhabiting the Strait of Messina, a narrow sea passage between Italy and Sicily. Scylla was a six-headed sea monster living on a rock, while Charybdis was a giant whirlpool on the opposite side. So again, I've mentioned this in my earlier Trivium reaction videos, but the whole thing that sort of didn't gel with me was the subject matter with Trivium. You know, singing about monsters and riding into battle on horses and stuff like that with a big sword. However, I'm starting to see how some of this is quite almost metaphorical. And this next line, navigating the strait meant choosing between these two dangers, leading to the phrase between Scylla and Charybdis to describe a situation where one must choose between two equally unpleasant or dangerous options. So there's a depth to Trivium songwriting that I'm starting to enjoy. There's a lot of metaphor in there. And I think maybe we can all relate to that, where you've got two options and either one just doesn't seem appealing. However, you've got to weigh up which one's going to be best. So I guess that's what the song's about. So I guess without further ado, let's get into it. So this is Torn Between Scylla and Charybdis. Let's give it a whirl. Okay, so first observation, I think we're back in 7-string land now. So if I'm correct, but yeah, we're back in the land of B minor, and he's making use of a sort of a pedal point riff along one string. Okay, so he's constantly going off of that open B string, which is a very intelligent thing to do if you're coming up with a lead melody. You know, if your 7th string is tuned down to a B and you've got a higher string that's tuned to the same note, why not use it? You know what I mean? And he's just basically, from the sounds of it, just... yeah, he's literally just walking along the B minor scale and putting those open pedal points in between, which is very cliche in this genre, I guess. But, you know, it's just another trick that you can use in your songwriting. You know, we learn like our 3-note per string scales and stuff like that because they're very important. But what's equally as important is to be able to play your scales along one string as well. And that's going to really start to open up the fretboard. So it's a really good idea, and it's a great lead right off of the bat. Something like that. Okay, let's keep going. And then of course it's got the harmony thing on, you know, so the other guitar be like, something like that. You put those two ideas together, losing the guitar. You put those two ideas together and that's where the magic happens for metalcore anyway. Third part harmonies, classic. Wow. Okay, that's a very, very complex riff, and I think this is what's known as the progressive album, if I'm right. And that, I mean, I need to listen to that again. I'm hearing all sorts there. So we've got this B minor, C major, and then an F sharp major idea that's going on there. That's sort of like the movement that's happening. And it's that last chord, giving it that harmonic minor sort of idea. Adds tension, and then when you come back to the root, it releases that tension. Very cool, very cool, very proggy. Okay, let's keep going. Wow, that is extremely proggy. It's like a million different things sort of coming at you. Really love this era of Matt Heafy's vocals, starting to really sort of click with me now, with all its little Hetfieldisms in there. I'm down for it. And I like how it's got all the classic sort of gallops and stuff like that, but it's still got like a little bit of a sort of a swing beat to it as well. The other thing that's interesting to me as well, like sort of listening to those sort of time-ins and proggy chord progressions, and you hear it a lot in today's modern music, like especially with that first riff. If you go listen to a song like Reptile by Periphery, you know, the two are not too dissimilar, right? If it's not broke, don't fix it. It's a very common chord progression. You've heard that. You've heard that since you probably first learned White Stripes, Seven Nation Army on guitar. It's that whole idea of the hitting that major chord at the end, again, harmonic minor. I'm repeating myself, but again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Just, it works. I really do believe that a musician's music is an extension of their personality, right? And I remember once my guitar teacher said to me, like, a guitar player will always play how they talk in a way. And he drew the parallel. He said, take James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett, especially in the lead department. He said, like, how does Kirk talk? Quite fast, right? Listen to his guitar solos, rampant. How does James talk? Well, he's sort of a little bit more slower and thought out and stuff like that. And James's guitar solos are equally sort of as swingy and slower and thought out. And Matt Heafy as a person, he is very intelligent, but he's very quick. Like his brain, it works so fast. And you know, I've watched a lot of like his interviews and live streams just to get into the mindset of this band while I've been doing this journey with you all. And, you know, the way he talks is very fast, very articulate, you know, and it's sort of like it's got a flow to it, but like he'll hop topics and stuff like that. And you know, the music here is very much an extension of that. When he sits and plays guitar, you can just see how he's already predetermined where he's going to go next while he's on the first thing. So these riffs are super chaotic and they're all over the place, but they're accurate and they're intonated and they're in time. And I can just hear a lot of the personality coming through here, which is cool. And again, they're not ragging on that 7th string constantly. Yeah, they're being very strategic with it. And when they do hit that 7th string, boom, it just hits different. Yeah, that low note. If you'd have been hearing that low 7th string note right the way through to this point, it wouldn't have the impact, you know, and it's obviously in there, but like when they do go to it, because they're not constantly ragging on it, it just has so much more impact. Am I going to have to get a 7 string? I really don't want to try that again. Anyways, let's see how long I can get away with not having one. Okay, classic Trivium now. Like as if I know it all, but you know, what I've learned from these guys so far is like they love to just throw surprises in their song. Think about where this came from. You know, it started off in a very melodic, sort of pretty intro, you know, and it had the build. A lot like with Kurosute Gomen. And then all of a sudden it all kicks off, you know, and all hell breaks loose. But then 2 minutes 55 into the song, it's like out of nowhere, no sort of build up. They'll just like go into a next or a different section even, just to keep you on your toes. It's fun. This is a lot of fun. Wow, man. Riff salad. Okay, here we go. Wow. Well, okay, hang on, wait. Can't keep up. It's not straight back in, it's a different section. Wow. Corey delivers the goods. I made the observation that everything that I've heard so far, Corey always delivers the goods as a lead guitar player. Regardless of what sort of era they're in. He's an incredibly accomplished musician, and I'm assuming that's Corey playing that because he likes to take care of all the stupidly fast stuff. But again, Matt's very accomplished as well in his own right, but I know it's Corey that handles a lot of the super shreddy stuff. I mean, that had everything. That had whammy bar squeals, that had sweep picking, fast, staccato picked runs. Absolutely incredible. And how old were the guys at this point? You know, they're still young when this album came out, I think. So, gosh. And there's a lot of pressure, isn't there? You know, if you put an album out like Ascendancy and you know, you follow up. Pretty sure there's an album in the middle. I keep getting mixed up. Is Crusade next? But then, you know, you come round and then you do Shogun, you know, and to me, Shogun is, you know, it's a very, very strong album from what I've heard. And after that, it's like, where the heck do you go? You know what I mean? They really set the bar high for themselves here. It's that bass solo. Okay, Paolo has entered the chat. Look out, everyone. He's going to call us out. He's going to start a war. Let's have a listen to how that comes in. Oh, before we talk about that as well, can we just appreciate how sort of guttural Heafy's vocals are here? Like, yeah. This is good, heavy music, and this is refreshing to my ears at this point. I knew there was something special about this album. I'm also hearing some like jazz voicings in there that he's pedaling off of. He's like kind of going B minor, and then he's kind of putting that major 7th note from the harmonic minor scale in there. You know, and in this context, on a clean tone, it sounds very sort of, you know, I'm making it sound like jazz. But in that context, because they can be really sort of like ugly chords, they work for the genre, right? Very cool. Okay. Whoa. Wait. Like, there's just too much. There's too much. It's like we there's just too much to take in. All right, this is why I don't leave it till the end. Otherwise, I'm gonna forget. Right, so we had like heavy riff, almost jazz voicings, guttural vocals, a bass solo. Yeah, very cool. Really cool lick at the end there. But that next thing, is it a riff? Is it a lead? Who knows? I can't help but smile at that. I want that as my ringtone. That's great. Absolutely love that. But it like I've always struggled with picking every note at speed. I'm quite linear as a guitar player, and I like legato quite a bit, which some consider to be a cop out, but hey ho. If he is picking every note there, that's insane. Let me listen to that again. And then I love the rhythm like underneath. That's really good. You guys have made me smile today. So thank you. This is cool. Wow. Let's straight back into it. More bass. right. Trivium with their transitions, man. I'm starting to accept it's just what they do. It just very abrupt. Bang, is this. Bang, is that. That's a lot of stuff crammed in. That guitar solo as well, absolutely incredible. What fantastic, accomplished musicians. Yeah, okay, so let's keep going. Okay, just before we finish up here with the song, I just want to have a look at the lyrics. I really hope you guys are enjoying this reaction video, and just while we're here, I want to take a quick moment to mention my Bullet for My Valentine guitar lesson library, which is over on my Patreon page. If you've fallen prey to bad Bullet for My Valentine tabs in the past, and there's a little bit of confusion there, and you want to learn their songs properly, head over to my Bullet for My Valentine guitar lesson library, which is over on my Patreon page. This is my ever-growing series of Bullet for My Valentine guitar lessons where I break down all their songs and teach you all the guitar parts. Members of the library can also request what songs I do, so if you head on over there and you don't see the song you want to learn, get yourself signed up, put your request in, and you'll get full priority on what I do. The lessons are also available for one-off purchase on my Patreon shop too, so you can just buy the lessons outright if that's what you want, rather than signing up monthly. Members also get access to the isolated stems for each song that I do, so that's guitars, bass, drums, and vocals, as well as access to my quick lesson series, which are more just general guitar lessons where I share my love of guitar theory and other things. So yeah, this is 100% the best way that you can support me and what I do, other than hitting like and subscribe, of course. So if you want some Bullet for My Valentine guitar lessons, which are in-depth and as accurate as I can possibly get them, head over to my Patreon page and see what's over there. Yeah, so it does seem very sort of conquer the world, you know, ready to take on the world sort of mentality here. Face which makes you bleed. Torn between Scylla and Charybdis, feast fruits of valor. If you face it, fruits of valor. Wow. Walls of carnage surround your weakness, crash down like oceans. Wait for the light in total darkness, drowning in bleakness. Awaiting death's grip, cry out for life. Divided by destiny, torn between death and doom. Destruction by decision. Fate shows me my open tomb. So yeah, going back to what I read at the start of the video, that whole idea of either way you might be screwed, basically. Torn between death and doom. You know, which path do you want to take? Which is going to be the better option here? Destruction by decision. So either way, you're kind of doomed. Fate shows me my open tomb. Wow. However, there is a you know, despite the fact that it's like either way we're fighting a losing battle here, there is sort of like a crush thy enemy mentality going on here. Face down, you know what I mean? That which makes you bleed, turn it round. Again, this riding into battle sort of idea, which I always had Trivium down for. It's a reoccurring theme, but again, if you think of them as the young musicians that they were, I know they didn't have the easiest of times, you know, sort of like breaking through. They were quite a polarizing band for some, but they kept going. They had one vision and they saw it through. I think I saw either an interview or a sit down with Matt Heafy where he said, like, this has been my only job since I was 16. This is all I've ever done. You know, there is no plan B. This is it. This is what I've decided to do with my life. So either way, you got to make it work, right? So that a lot of that is definitely reflected in the lyrics, and it's a good parallel. And yeah, for all these strange names and titles and stuff, I'm learning. You know, I didn't realize that Torn Between Scylla and Charybdis was an expression that was used. You know, so it's a really cool parallel. I like it. There's the counterpoint. Bravo, bravo. What a crazy song. I suppose when I first heard Kirisuta Gomen, which was the first one that I heard from this album, I knew coming off the back of Ascendancy, which was the only sort of stuff I'd heard at that point, I had something altogether different on my hands. As a matter of fact, just while we're here and everything, I just want to hear that riff one more time. Is it a riff? Is it a lead? I think it's a lead. I could have just listened to that on repeat for 6 minutes and 49 seconds. I just love the feel of that. The way the riff is just so syncopated and stabby, and then that crazy lead that's underneath. That's peak for me. Absolutely love that. So that feels good. I've finally been able to get this one out my system, and that's at least one more track that I can listen to on this record without ruining any reaction videos that are down the line. And again, I want to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments below, what you want to see me react to next. One thing I will say though, and I'm really sorry to disappoint, but I have at this point heard the entirety of the In Waves album. That album was a solid hit for me. I literally played it twice, going to the studio the other day to track vocals for my upcoming EP. And you know, there's some songs on there that I just can't seem to get out my head. To me, that's definitely more of like a refined Trivium for sure, but I get that was sort of maybe the whole mission statement for that album, and I guess that's a topic for another time. But yeah, unfortunately, if you vote for an In Wave song, I've probably already heard it. So that's 2 albums sort of checked. Ascendancy-ish. We've talked about this at length, not my album. Shogun, keep them coming. Really liking this album. And what I like most about these songs is they're making me smile. They're so extreme, and you don't know what's around the corner with the songs. They make these last minute decisions just to make a left turn real quick, and it just takes you by complete surprise. That's a lot of fun for me. It's almost like with this album, they said that let's make it as extreme as it can possibly be. And if that was the mission statement, I think they achieved it. You know, it's the tempos, the skill, and within the guitar capabilities, both on the rhythm and lead. Even the, you know, adding bass solos in there and stuff like that, going like full on Cliff Burton in the middle of it. You know, the intense song structures. And it's interesting. They seem to like this bookend idea quite a bit. I'm pretty sure on Shogun that song goes in and goes out the same way. This song, it's almost like a little story, you know. It's bookended by the same sort of mellow compared to the rest of the song idea, very melodic. But once you start turning those pages, oh boy, it's a rough ride in terms of, not as in rough musically bad, but like it's you know, it's edge of your seat music, and it's intense, and yeah, it's incredible. So great suggestion. I've really enjoyed this one. That said, what song is next? I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you think about this song. I want to hear what you think about this album. Am I barking up the wrong tree here pursuing this album? Is there even better stuff than this? Like I said, I'm after something that's fresh and new, and to me, this is fresh, new, and exciting. And that's the thing I'm enjoying about music at the minute. It's like, if it makes me smile and it makes me laugh, it's a win for me. It's sort of less about, oh, I need this big, deep, meaningful song to, you know, sit down and lament to and stuff like that. I want to hear stuff that makes me smile and makes me think, why did they choose to do that? Or, you know, that's something I would never have thought to have done. Or, you know, I want to hear the extensions of their personalities, you know, and I think this song is a fine example of that. So let me know what you want to see next. I really hope you enjoyed this reaction video. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for all your suggestions. Please keep them coming. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here. Head over to my Patreon page if you want to build up my Valentine guitar lessons and you want to support me on that platform. And yeah, this has been great. This has been Scylla and Charybdis by Trivium. You guys have been awesome. I've been Dallas92, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.